We all know there are a number of common problems on these 604 diesels. Today, we're going to diagnose a no-start issue and see if we can get this baby fired up again.
Welcome to Truck U. Today we've got this 2005 6.0 Powerstroke diesel in the shop, and it's having a bit of an issue. It's got a situation where it's crank no start, and we need to get this thing fired up. You know, these trucks are known for having a few peculiarities to it, so to speak. You know, a few problems that once you get past, they'll live forever, but those few problems can be a little costly and a little frustrating to deal with.
So we talked to the guy, and he fessed up. He said, I've really never had any work done to this truck. Okay, that's a good start.
Right.
And then it shut down when he was driving down the road, so we need to take a look at that. So we got the computer hooked up. We can try to turn it over, right?
Yeah,
See
crank
what's
it up and see what we got going on.
You ready? The
Yep.
all-knowing computer, tell us what's up. What you got?
Yeah, not enough oil pressure, that's the problem.
No?
No, let go.
All right.
So after working on these things, there's one thing that we've learned over the course of time is the fact that the high pressure oil system is usually going to be the issue. What happens is you need at least 500 pounds of oil pressure for this thing to fire. So what the computer's going to tell us, hold on, you guys will show you one more time. Matt, crank this up for us.
All right.
It'll see with desired oil pressure and what we're actually getting. Actually, we're only having 200 pounds of pressure. Down here, it's desiring 1,000. So obviously, we've got an issue. And usually 9 out of 10 times, it comes down to this.
Well, yeah, because we can get in there and take a look at things and spend a lot of time diagnosing. But like you said, the vast majority of the time, it comes down to this STC fitting right here. Now, this goes on the high-pressure oil pump. What happens is, you know, when you're running wide open, you can get a lot of pressure in there.
Yeah, up to 3,000 pounds of pressure, and you've got a quick disconnect, it's going to give, and it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, 3,000. You put a chip on that thing, dude, there's a lot going on. That baby breaks off right there, so what they had to do was kind of update that fitting. There's the updated fitting, one solid piece right there, so that's going to hold up a lot better than that. Here's the issue. Now, we've got to get down into the guts of the thing to get this piece on.
Yeah, this is sitting inside the engine. It's usually about 20 billable hours just to replace that fitting, so we've got a lot of work to do just to get to it. Time to start working.
We can't just stand around and talk?
Unfortunately, no.
It's kind of my specialty.
Yeah, I know it is. So the first obstacle we had to move out of the way was the wiring harness. What we did was just pulled it back up out of the way, use a bungee cord to hold it so we can start working that stuff. Now, first thing we pulled off was the air intake box. With that out of the way, we can start really digging in.
And then they will also say if you're going to take that turbo out of there to remove the alternator. But sure, that makes it a little bit easier because you have more room, but that adds a lot more labor to the job. And again, we're trying to do this as quickly and as easily as possible. So we're just going to work this thing around there and ease it out. There. All right. With the turbo out of the way, now we can take a look at what's going on down here, which is quite a bit. See, conventional instructions tell you that when you're changing out this fitting, that the EGR's got to come out, which means the alternator has to come out, which means the whole coolant system has to get drained. All that can add hours to your labor, not only coming out, but hours going back in as well. And I mentioned we want to do this quick. So what we did was, you keep in mind, here's my little pointer, right? This piece here is your cover for your high pressure oil pump. Here's your oil pump, here's the cover. These are two different pieces going on right here. And there's no clearance, there's no way with the tight clearances to get this out of here, which is why you've got to remove everything. Except on the back side, they've got just this little pedestal right here. And what that does is that holds up the heat shield. Well, that little piece right there, it's about like the tip of your finger, causes all the clearance issues. So if you can get down in here now with that out of the way, and we take the clamp off the back side of the EGR so that we can get at all these bolts. Now, when we go to slide this piece up over the oil pump, once we take that solenoid off, that'll actually slide up. We can rock it back and forth a little bit and pull all that out of there without removing all this, saving us hours and hours of labor. Oh.
Oh, you got that off finally?
Yeah, dude, thanks for the help with this.
It's taken you a really long time.
And the turbo and everything else, but no problem.
Hey, man, I got everything taken care of. We are ready to pop this thing back in and go back to work.
Good. All right, tell me about it.
All right, so right here we got the new STC. You know, this one obviously doesn't have this. This is the problem we had before, that quick disconnect. So this is where we're losing pressure and why this thing wouldn't start. So we're going to pop this off, put the new one in, problem solved, just that simple. I even went the extra mile. See, when you get this from the factory, they give you this little plastic installation tool. The thing is, when you start tightening this thing down to install it, it's going to start to twist and rotate, and everything's not going to line up. So I went down to the dealership, and they hooked us up with this metal one. So obviously, when you go to put it in, everything is going to line up, and it's going to make your job a dream.
Boy, you've thought of everything, haven't you?
See how I help you?
Let's go find the vise so that you can add a little bit more contribution to the project.
I'm down, buddy.
Good.
Transmission fluid can get really hot. We know that at high temps, oil burns. It breaks down and leaves behind a gummy, sticky varnish we call stiction. Stiction in your transmission can cause slippage. Adding a lubricant often just creates slippery stiction, but it doesn't remove it. The scientists who develop Hotshot Secret products have brought a new product to market. Transmission Stiction Eliminator attaches to the metal parts of your transmission and digs underneath and separates the stiction from the metal. 1 quart of Hotshot Secret Transmission Stiction Eliminator added to a slipping transmission will create smoother shifts and improve efficiency that will be noticeable immediately. This tip is brought to you by Hotshot Secret, powered by science.
Hey, welcome back to Truck U. We've got our high pressure oil pump in our vise, and I'm taking out the old STC fitting. We're gonna put the new one in. Before you go to put it in, make sure you put a little bit of lubrication on the threads and that seal. Now what you wanna do is you got the jam nut here, you wanna back it up all the way and go 1/2 turn back in. Then you'll start screwing it into the pump itself, and it'll say to turn it in 5 full turns. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and back it up to go ahead and use our alignment tool. So now this is why we want to use the steel one, because I'll show you in here in a second that it's going to want to get a little twist when you go to torque this thing down. And it's really critical to make sure that you have it straight, because when you go to set this back into the engine, if this is cocked or if it twists when you torque it, it's not going to want to go in. Now that we've got our locating bracket fastened to our STC fitting, what we're going to do is torque it down. So you run the jam nut in, and you want to torque it down to the factory spec. Now with the plastic one, when you torque it, you might get a situation where it twists. If it twists, it's not going to go in, and it's going to take you a lot of messing around to figure it out. So we'll go ahead and click this down. Now that it's torqued down, we can remove our installation tool and put our high pressure oil pump back in. So we've got the high pressure oil pump mounted back in place, our new STC valve, and you know what? Hopefully this side of things will now be sealed.
All right, this is the fuel injection control module, and I've got that loosened up so I can take this out of the way. But you know, a lot of times with your hard starts or no starts or just general driving, this takes a lot of vibration, so there may be an issue with that. I'm just going to move it out of the way for now, and then I can get to the valve cover, and once this is out of the way, I can get to that dummy plug.
Now the dummy plug is another issue that we want to address, because it is another thing that can commonly fail and cause a sense of low pressure. Now what you've got right here, I'll show you guys, this is one that has failed, and it doesn't take much. There's just a little nick right here in the O-ring, and that's enough where you've got thousands of pounds of pressure coming through, it will leak and cause a no-start problem. So what we're going to do, since we got everything tore down this far, we're going to replace these with some aftermarket ones like we've got here, new seals and reinforcements on either side, and this way when we put it all back together, go to hit the switch, this thing will fire right up.
Here's a little indicator right here. I've got a square head on this dummy plug, which means that went in from the factory, because a lot of your aftermarket ones are going to have a hex head on them. So, and you can tell on the size of that too who the manufacturer is a lot of times. So, just a little trivia for you. You know, I know you like that.
I do like that.
As we have been talking about all day, there are many engine and mechanical issues with the Ford 6.0 engines. And many of these problems can be fixed with replacement Cardone parts that we got from Federated Auto Parts. Take the turbo, for example. Carbon can build up in the VGT actuator spool valve and vanes, which causes the turbo to fail or not operate within normal parameters. Not to mention, when you shut down your diesel engine while the turbo is still hot, it will shorten the life of your turbocharger. With Cardone's remanufactured turbos, the oil galleys are cleared of carbon buildup and deposits, so it's like a brand new turbo, and they come with all of the proper installation parts. With the turbo fixed, another area to check out is a problem in your oil rail. High pressure oil travels through the rail into the injector cups, and over time this pressure will cause the cups and seals to fail. But the problem is the dealer only offers a complete rail system, which is very expensive. With the Cardone oil rail kit, you get 8 cups and 8 seals, and you can add an oil rail repair tool to ensure proper alignment. That will save you a ton of money over the OE option. Now, another problem on the 6.0 engine is the fuel injector control module. Many failures are caused by heat and vibration that this unit endures over time. Some competitors suggest replacing the power board only. Now, Cardone performs repairs on both the logic and the power boards and performs 100% computerized testing on the entire module. And those are just a few of the areas to keep in mind on your 6.0 engine.
Hey, I need to borrow this, is that all right?
I was talking here.
I got that.
So today's LMC Truck Project is this 1979 Ford. I love this truck. It actually belongs to a buddy of ours that works the next building over, like right over there. And this thing looks great on the outside. However, the inside, that's another story.
Yeah, the truck does have some nice lines, and it looks really good from the outside. It's where the interior starts to show its age. It's got a lot of wear and tear because this is an everyday driver. The guy uses his truck like you all should. Thing is, it needs a little love, and first thing first is this bench seat. Now, he's got a Mexican blanket cover on it. That can go. We're going to put some new carpeting in, no flooring in the whole thing, and LMC Truck has hooked us up with everything we need. Right here, we've got the flooring. We're going to go with this tan color, which will look good with the green, as well as the bench seats, the sound deadening material, and all the who's its and what's it we need to put all this stuff in.
You know, I'm actually going to miss the Mexican Fiesta themed bench seat, but we'll have to do something with that.
We can have margaritas for lunch.
All right, I am. I'm thinking nachos too. Seriously, we need to hang this up somewhere. You don't think I should get it by myself?
You're good, but you ain't that good. Your arms aren't long enough. I've seen you try and reach for a check. Those arms get real short.
That's true. Check this out. You ready?
Yeah. Nice. Linden.
Oof. Dude, there's about 30 years of particles coming out of that thing, right?
Yeah, it definitely has a pungent smell to it.
Let's go for a reveal. Gotta have music, right?
Is that the chicken dance?
Yeah, right? Was that not good?
Not quite accurate, but I see where you're going with that.
My direction was good. All right, so back to that in a second, because here's where we're going, okay? So a little less Mexican restaurant, a little more, I don't know what this is.
A little more class.
Good. Yeah.
You know, it'll definitely dial up the whole interior. So what we got to do is we'll pull this one off.
Boom.
And we need to pull the old one off for obvious reasons. So what we have to do is flip it over, Matt.
It's a lot cheaper than buying a new seat, right?
For sure. And it's something that is definitely you can do on your own. All we have to do is go ahead and cut off all these hog rings all the way around. This will peel off in one piece. They give you new hog rings with the kit and the new hog ring pliers. We'll put the new one on and start putting this thing fastened down for good.
All right, brother. So can I rip this a little bit? Is that all right?
Go ahead. I don't think we're going to save it. Let me file this for us over there.
Yuck.
Before we put the new carpeting inside this truck, we need to do a little prep work. And first things first, we had to clean out the inside of this cab, get all the old dirt and debris out of the way because we need to put in some sound deadening and some heat shield material. The whole idea is you want to eliminate road noise and vibrations inside the cab itself. Now you can see right here, it is pretty thick. It's got a 1/4 inch jute padding as well as a reflective cover. Now this is a 2 layers of aluminum and the whole idea is to reflect 97% of radiant heat. So this is going to keep you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. The whole trick to this is you need to really make sure it adheres to the inside of the cab. So we've got our spray adhesive, we've got our black weather strip adhesive as well as some aluminum tape because if this is moving around when you put the carpet on top, the whole thing's going to move around and shift on you. So make sure that you get this down and get it down nice and tight. This way when you lay the carpeting over it, everything will be good to go.
This molded carpeting kind of lays right in and you just lay it in and push it down and kind of push it here and pull it there. This looks a lot better too.
All right. Slide that good over there?
Yeah, right about there. Right? Throw that back.
Oh,
Let's test it out.
It looks good, man.
Oh, this is just like going to the drive-in, right?
Feels have
good.
A better date.
That's not a compliment.
No, it's not. It wasn't intended to be.
You take a look at where we were at and where we are now, dude. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's night and day. It's really hard to believe, actually, that in just a short period of time, we could put in new carpeting and new seat pads like this. It all looks factory, and it changes the whole look of this cab. The only thing now is you start looking at something else, and got some more work ahead of us.
Yeah. How come that always happens? It's like we fix one thing and we find 2 more that we need to fix. Right?
Yeah, I think LMC Truck, though, can hook us up with all that as well.
Looks like we need to make another phone call.
This tip is brought to you by LMC Truck. Restore, maintain, and customize your truck with parts and accessories from LMC Truck.
This is the System 1 amplified speaker from Custom Auto Sound. It's a full-range speaker system for your vehicle to get all that modern sound into a classic vehicle without spoiling the integrity of it. And what I mean by that is you're not working on like a 1950s vehicle and cutting that dash apart to put a speaker in it, you know?
You know, what comes with a kit is you've got an 8-inch subwoofer enclosure, which is designed to go underneath the seat so it's mounted discreetly away, or you can put it in your trunk. Comes with remote control so you can adjust your bass levels. Also comes with two 3-inch satellite speakers, which look like AC vents, which is really cool.
Our buddy Kenny over at KT Performance sent us all of these products, and we got a whole bunch of them. These are all from Diamond T Enterprises, and a lot of cool stuff like I was talking about. But first, we want to focus on this Diamond T torque converter right here, man.
You know, one of the nice things about this performance torque converter, it is going to give you a lot of bang for your buck because it's less expensive than most stock replacements. Now, it features a billet cover, a 3-year unlimited warranty, and it's available for both gas and diesel applications. The nice thing, too, about this thing is, let's say you've got a competition vehicle that needs a special torque converter like a sled pulling truck. They can dial you in with something specific for your application.
KT Performance has all kinds of stuff, man. They're always sending us cool stuff. I like this too, man. You know, when this came in, I was like, check this out. So this is an adapter to go from an 8-lug to a 10-lug setup. So you've got a big truck, I don't know, for example, a big diesel truck, right? And you want to put those semi-tires on that thing and really take a big truck and make it even bigger. This is a great way to do it.
That's really cool.
This is the ReadyLift off-road suspension multi-lift system for your F-150s, and this is good for your 09 to 2014, right? So you have options with this, which is nice because you can go with a 5, a 6, or a 7-inch lift. That'll get you up in the air. That way you can put on the wheels and tires that you want, and your truck is going to look sweet.
And it's also going to conform to all federal safety regulations. Now, one thing about this kit we really like is the fact that it's made right here in the USA, and it has suspension options which include design-specific lift block, U-bolt, and add-a-leaf options. The other thing, too, is everything you see here is CNC laser cut and formed, as well as finished off with an ultra-durable finish, which will stand the test of time.
Let's go inside the Duplicolor garage. Duplicolor, yes you can, in your garage.
This is a 2008 Toyota Tacoma, and it belongs to a guy that I know. He comes around pretty often, you know. He's kind of a Truck U super fan. He's even got the Truck U seat covers, which they're great seat covers, but that is a little creepy, but whatever. Over the years, he's been running his arm on the inside of this door panel, got a little dirt and a little grease on there. That's normal wear and tear. So today, what we're gonna do is restore and restyle this door panel, and we're gonna do it with this. It's the Duplicolor vinyl and fabric coating. So we have this door panel, and I wanted to tape off the top part because that's black already, and we're gonna leave that black. Give us that two-tone look when we're done. Now, when I started laying this on, I went right over this fabric because the product's called vinyl and fabric. Then I'll tape off around the fabric, and we'll hit this with black. So that way the fabric and this top part will match right there, and that's gonna give that door that whole two-tone look that we're going for. You know, there's a couple things I really like about the vinyl and fabric coating. One, it's self-priming, so that makes it a little bit easier. It's also a flexible coating, which is cool, because if you're doing some of those plastic or vinyl pieces, you want a flexible coating. So we found this little paint spreader, right? This thing twists like that. Painted this. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. It's not cracking. You can twist it, turn it, whatever. If you'd like some more information about vinyl and fabric coating, be sure to check out Duplicolor's website. And I've got this job almost done. I guess I could do the other 3 doors. Then again, I could leave that to Superfan. Let him handle that. Hey, Bandit, we are eastbound and down, brother. And now I'm talking about we're putting parts back in. Now, let's be honest, this could actually go easily, or this could take a long time and not happen at all. So wish me the best.
Well, we are putting some new parts in, a new turbo. We've swapped out 2 of the most common problems you have with a high-pressure oiling system, losing that pressure. One being the STC valve and the other being the dummy plugs. We saw issues on both of them, so I can say with some vote of confidence that when we get this thing all buttoned back together, we will have high pressure in our high-pressure oiling system, and this thing will crank right up.
You know, it's not going to crank up right away, right? Because we're putting dry parts in here, which he's going to be thrilled with the new turbo, by the way.
Yeah.
So big thanks to you for that. And like I said, it's got to crank up. It's got to get up to pressure. It's going to take a couple of seconds. But that begs the question, why does it require so much oil pressure to start the engine?
You know, that's a good point because we've been talking about it's got to have at least 500 pounds of oil pressure just to fire. Well, with a gas engine, you've got an injector that sprays a fine mist into the cylinder. Well, the pressure, it doesn't get under pressure till it compresses as the piston goes up. Now, it's completely different in a diesel engine. You've got basically the injector's firing as that cylinder is getting filled. So it's on the top of the compression stroke. There's a ton of pressure inside of there, and you need the oiling system to pressurize that injector and shoot with force to get fuel in the cylinder. And the faster it spins, the more pressure it requires.
You know what, dude? I think that's a pretty good, simple explanation for something that's very complicated. So, nice job, kid.
I appreciate that, brother. All right, Matt, hit it.
You nervous?
A little bit. I'm not gonna kid you. It's a lot of work. Nice. Man, that cranked up pretty quick.
Not bad, right?
Yeah, and this is all reading pretty good. You know, basically what we're looking at is injector control pressure, what's actually happening and what desired is, and they're pretty close right now, and as this thing warms up, they'll actually get closer together. Here, kill it, would you?
Yeah, let me turn that on. All right.
So we're showing about 816 pounds of pressure, which is a ton, but this thing won't even start unless it's got 500.
And we've been talking about this fitting all day, right? Here's the deal with that fitting. It's just a matter of time before it goes. So you're not going to get lucky and it's going to hold up, forever. It's not going to happen. It's going to go eventually, and you're going to have to deal with this. So you talk about the new fitting, right? The EGR repair, the dummy plugs, and the oil cooler. I mean, you could be upwards of around $1,800, but sounds like a lot of money, but think about the alternative.
Yeah, no, the thing is, it's never going to happen at an opportune time. You know, you'll be driving down the road and it could go, or it could be stopping filling up for diesel fuel. You get back in the cab and it won't fire. And it's obviously never going to happen when you want it to. So you can take it somewhere and spend upwards of $1,800, or maybe you can do it yourself now if you learned enough from watching us do it. The thing is, it's going to save you a ton of money versus buying a new rig like this for $65,000 or $70,000. You are going to be way money ahead.
I think it's a good return on the investment, and that is what I'm all about, man. So, cool deal.
Nice job, bro.
I like it.
That's all the time we got for Truck U. We'll see you guys next time.
I got something for you. A little present up there. You ready?
All right.
Check it out.
We could clean this thing.
There's no time for that.
Oh,
Stare
I
right
like
to
the
the light.
lights, man. Here, that's for you.
Thanks. You keep that.
Oh, nice.